I'm just gonna go short side, so this side is close together, 90 degrees. This leg's gotta stay locked out, so this knee's gotta stay locked out. You gotta stay dorsiflex, so that means toes back towards the head. And then this hand can go above the head. And then all I'm gonna do is just roll. Shoulder has to come with hip. So don't go hip and then shoulder. I gotta come at the same time here. Slow and controlled. And I'm trying to get this leg all the way down. So I should have my knee down. I should have this foot down to the floor. I can turn this palm in and I'm looking up towards that kettlebell or that dumbbell. Now make sure that this stays pushed down into the ground and locked out. So a lot of people will come here and then this leg will lift up. You got to think about pushing down into the ground just a little bit and keep that knee nice and locked out. So I'm here, I'm touching, and I'm getting internal rotation in the pelvis on that bottom side, so on this left side. And then I'm going to exhale and I'm going to come back and I'm going to turn my palm back facing that way. So inhale through the nose on the way there. You can exhale through the mouth on the way back. So you're getting internal rotation at the pelvis, right? Not just internal rotation femur inside the pelvis. That's what all this stuff, right? People do all this stuff. That stuff could be beneficial, but that is the femur moving on the pelvis. And this is actually happening. This is relative motion inside the pelvis. Small hinges move big doors. So a lot of times we can get bigger internal rotation gains there. So a lot of people want more dorsiflexion. They want to get this knee beyond the toe. And so people do your kneeling drills, and sometimes that could be beneficial. Sometimes your single leg squats where you're driving the knee beyond the toe. Sometimes just your regular deep squats where you're getting that dorsiflexion. That's if it's bottom up issue. A lot of times it's top down. If you can't internally rotate here, then you can't dorsiflex. So internal rotation is going to be paired with pronation of the foot, and pronation allows dorsiflexion, right? You could try this. You could go early stance mechanics where you strike on the outside of the foot. That's where you would have your highest arch. That's when you're in this more external rotation. Get the knee kind of outside the foot here, and then stay there all the way throughout. Don't come in, stay there. You'll see that you can't get the knee very far beyond the toe, right? You kind of lock up right there. You can't get any pronation. So naturally, if I strike here and then I allow it to pronate, now we allow dorsiflexion to actually occur. So no hip internal rotation, no pronation, no dorsiflexion. Now we're tugging on the calf, tight calves. Now we're tugging on the Achilles pain. And so a lot of times, and it's important to understand that pronation is not a collapse, right? Pronation is just a normal movement that the foot is going to do in mid stance, right? Pronation is not over pronation. So free up that pronation from getting hip internal rotation. A lot of times that gets you more dorsiflexion. Sometimes the problem actually is bottom up. And so you can work on pronation drills, or you could work on doing like knee over toe type stuff, and that might work. But I found a lot of times people are just jamming this over and over again. And if the problem is at the hip, then they're just tugging on the Achilles over and over again. They get more pain in the plantar fascia and in the Achilles. Instead, free up the pelvis, get the pelvis moving. Everything takes care of itself.